Hi everyone, this is Gail of Long Days Journal, and I know I'm a little bit late to the party, but I wanted to do a quick flip through of IzzyBees December Freebie and the beautiful little gem that I created using her very generous downloads and printables. So the theme I used and the relevance of being late to the party is Stamperia's Alice in Wonderland papers, and I kind of got carried away and the whole thing became a tea party theme. So here's the envelope with a little box that everything fits in and some tags on that also have little journaling spots on the back. And you'll see that I have as a dangle on the back of the little box a spoon for one of the collectibles from somewhere in my travels. Now, oddly enough, I'm not going to remove, or I should say, interestingly enough, and not surprising at all, I'm not going to remove the little journal that I made from the box because after I completed it, I realized some of the papers that I cut out and some of the tags were a tad too long and don't quite fit in, so I'm going to go back at another point in time when I'm through showing you this and cut those down a bit. But in the meantime, here's the front cover, and I said I'm late to the party, and this is Alice's journey in Wonderland, and lo and behold, it's a tea party. And here's the not so white rabbit, but he's probably a little mussy because he spilled his tea or his coffee like I tend to do. But he's late and he wants to get to the tea party, and since it's always time for tea, I'm sure he'll be fine when he gets there. And here I have inserted a little tag, and in that tag a little, what we used to call pog, but it's a milk cap, and perhaps he wants cream in his coffee today, so I've inserted a little milk cap for him to use in that tag. And as he continues on his journey, again, we see it's always time for tea, and here is a little journal card to which I have added a vintage button, which I thought kind of resembled a red rose. And actually, this button was courtesy of Caroline Thomas, who is a member of the IzzyBees Busybees, and I just adored it, and when I realized that I had it and that it might fit this theme, I had to include it. So here's a little Painting the Roses Red journal card and some space to write your story, or perhaps Alice's story, or maybe the White Rabbit story on the back. Now, I don't know how many of you are Alice in Wonderland aficionados, but if you're clever, you'll look at this clock, and that he's his little stopwatch and his little clock that he'll pull out of his pocket, and it says 5 o'clock, which I do believe was the time that his clock showed in the story. And so that's tucked away in a little pocket along with some stickers, which I'm sorry, but they are Starbucks and coffee stickers. So anybody who knows me, or when you get to know me, will realize that I'm a coffee fanatic. So those little Starbucks things tend to sneak in wherever I can get them. And you may even find the occasional coffee bean scattered throughout my journal. So after the White Rabbit checks his clock and he realizes he's late, you know, Alice goes running around and she sees all these signs and they say, "Eat me and drink me." And I couldn't find any little tea cakes like she probably ate, but I found something that I thought resembled a croissant, and here's a hot cross bun, and you know, perhaps next time I'll find a picture of a scone to include. So that led me further down this journey to wondering what I would serve if I had my own tea party. So here is a little menu that I've included in this pocket, and along with items that you might have to purchase for your tea party. Now, I realize it does say spring tea party, so I'm being optimistic here, but all the bright colors and the Victorian flowers and the whole theme did kind of make me think that even though we've just entered winter, that perhaps spring is not too far behind. And you know, you're going to have to pay for your tea and your scones, and your guest check will arrive in this cute little booklet. And on the back again, some more information about how to make your own tea party. So that fits in this little pocket, and you can do your own journaling in that. And, well, lo and behold, there's the actual tea for the tea party. And it does say drink me, so I hope Alice doesn't shrink or perhaps grow too big to fit in my journal after having her tea in the tea party. So this is tucked into the actual little tea bag pocket, and I did empty the tea out, I'm sorry, because I thought that would be wise, because I didn't know if it would kind of disintegrate in its journey to whoever receives this. But it has that nice essence of tea still in the bag that's kind of permeating the whole journal. And, you know, if you can't pay cash or you don't have your credit card, perhaps you're living in the Wonderland Hotel and you need to sign here for your check, having had enjoyed the tea party. So here's another little tag and some of the playing cards that I'm sure the Queen and her entourage were using in Alice in Wonderland. And as we approach the end of the journal, I'm sorry I couldn't resist again, but looks like I've gone ahead and spilled coffee for a change on the back of my journal, and there are those coffee rings. So I hope you enjoyed the journey with me on Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, and to the tea party for which I may have arrived late. So I know it's nigh on to probably Christmas Eve where some of you live. So I will say Merry Christmas to all, and to all good night.